Rescue your teen warriors. You rescue the precious present from the fire, no matter how much your hands hurt. You run to the fire and take the box out. The wood is hot to the touch and the edges are burnt. The pain comes slowly. Horrible burns on your hands appear a few moments later. Mother gasps loudly. Then suddenly, a heavy blow strikes you on the back. You turn around to see grandfather towering over you, his walking stick in hand. You stare back at him defiantly. How dare you defy me, whelp! You're nobody. Furious, grandfather wrenches the toy box out of your hands and leaves the room. Father follows immediately, yet he sneaks in a hidden smile for you before he's gone. That's interesting. Exactly, we got indifferent attitude from Gregor Brante, so he kind of proved what we did. The head of the Brante family and the nobleman of the mantle, a senior judge at the Nizoti prefecture. He was the first person in the family to get an education and achieve a noble title. His dream is to see his family ennobled by the sword. A fierce defender of the ancient order, he is preoccupied with arranging the future of his family line. Soon, grandfather leaves. Your elder brother Stefan goes with him. From that day on, father's hired teachers tend to you alone. They bore you with monotonous lectures on writing, counting, and the way of life in a blessed Arachnean empire. You often distract yourself from their instruction by playing with your younger brother Nathan. Your home grows quiet without your elder brother, too quiet. Weeks later, your family receives a letter from Stefan. Grandfather has sent him to a boarding school for nobles, and he is now studying hard in preparation for his service as a nobleman. The rules here are way too strict. You can't even sneeze without the teacher's permission. But I've been studying with my peers. We are learning how to live as nobles in a noble society. We are also learning the art of sword play. That's my favorite part. With Stefan now at the boarding school, grandfather arrives once more, this time to live in your home. The only good thing is that he often has urgent business in Eterna, Eterna, the capital of the empire, and has to travel there. One day you ask Ma, there he lived before, in Eterna, she says, but now his place is here. Each time grandfather returns, he gives the servants new orders. Your home is now always busy with repairs. The servants are redecorating grandfather's chambers, including his library and sitting room. Sometimes father tries to gently talk him out of this. Why subject the house to constant reconstruction? Grandfather answers all this the same. This home is mine, and I will live here as befits a man of the nobility. An illustrious guest. Some days grandfather stays home, and on those days you try your best to stay out of this sight. But there is no way you can avoid family breakfast. The food is there, but you cannot bring yourself to eat it. Mother's eyes are red and swollen. She has been crying all night again. Grandfather sits at the head of the table, where nobody used to sit before. Robert, it is high time your youngest sons underwent their sacraments. So Brante, please, let them live free of the Lord for a while longer. They are but... Shut your mouth, Robert. That wife of yours is impertinent enough to interrupt me. If this ever happens again, she'll be eating her gruel with the servants in the kitchen where she belongs. It is time you consider it a real marriage, Robert. One to a woman of the proper station. Gloria drops her fork. Grandfather shoots her a scathing look. A tear rolls down mother's cheek. Father does not look away from the plate, his hands clenched into fists. Baroness Elodar is one such a woman. She is a comely widow and a fine match. She is suing for her inheritance right now and could use proper support and a husband. You can keep your low-born Lydia around if you like, servant, mistress, I don't care. I will not do that, father. I'm the head of the family, and the family's standing took a severe blow after you married that commoner. It is unthinkable. How could you give up the memory of beautiful Amalia Elborne for this lovely woman and that bastard child of yours? But now you have a chance to set things right. Don't disappoint me. Father nods curtly, trying to not look in mother's direction. Father, I wish to see Stefan. If I find your conduct in a baroness' presence satisfactory enough, then you may see him. She is coming for a visit tomorrow. Be prepared. Grandfather wipes his mouth with his napkin, throws it onto his plate, and leaves. Mother's lips move silently. Nobody says a word. Then father stands up and orders you and the other children back to your rooms. He needs to speak to mother in private. Father comes to your room before bedtime. He sits on the edge of the bed and adjusts a crease on a woolen blanket. He distances himself from you after Stefan's departure, so you are not used to such attention from him. In the candlelight, you can see his face in the dark. There is a sour expression on it. My son, Baroness Emma Lodar, will be visiting us tomorrow. Please, be polite and treat her with respect. Nathan will do as you do. I want this dinner to be as immaculate as possible. Don't let me down. On the next day, Mother starts dressing you and Nathan for the coming dinner. You see red all around her eyes. She has been crying for a long time. It hurt just to look at her. Nathan starts whining quietly. You and Nathan are dressed in new doublets, your tousled hair brushed into shape. Gloria is told to stay in her room. Father appears wearing his best suit. Mother is in a humble brown dress, looking pale. Grandfather has an uncharacteristically content look about him. You hear the sound of wheels and hoofs against the cobbles in the yard. Then a pair of dainty heels come clacking. The antechamber is completely quiet and still, wherein grandfather's observant eye. The door opens. You see your guest, a beautiful dark-haired woman in a dress of elegant deep blue. Father takes the hand of Lady Elodar and kisses it, showering her in compliments. Grandfather's face is beaming in her presence. No one even bothers to introduce mother. Baroness, allow me to introduce you, Robert's sons, Michael and Nathan Brante. Frankly, it's his eldest Stefan who deserves the most attention, but currently he is studying in Eterna with other young noblemen like himself. It is my hope that his younger sons will also make me proud one day. Grandfather eyes you with a probing look. How will you act in front of the Baroness? Will you accept her here, next to your mother, your father's rightful wife? Demand that mother be introduced, and we don't have perception, only 2 instead of 4. You demand that father introduces mother as his wife. Maintain your composure. You greet Lady Elodar with restraint and avoid getting too involved in the event. Willpower exactly should be more than 0. We have -10, so it's not our option as well. And so we can greet the Baroness politely or walk away with mother. You take mother's arm and leave the hall by her side. You approach Baroness Elodar and kiss her hand, following father's example. So, what's your choice?